One thing that we could start seeing soon is pump wars at the petrol stations, and this is one time where you might want to see your local law enforcement officer or somebody in authority at each petrol station, because if the prices tumble, you can guarantee that people will be trying to fill up any old container with petrol, gasoline. I think that, oh, well, that's good, that's cheap, I can use that later. It's not a good idea at all. Diesel fuel you can actually store fairly safely for a period of time, because the flash point of diesel is quite low, quite high comparative to petrol. But petrol, gasoline, if you were to leave, for example, 1 litre in an open area, say the size of a tennis court or a badminton court, an unventilated area, call it a small sports arena. If you were to leave that 1 litre of fuel in an open tray for an hour, it would completely evaporate. In fact, it depends on the environmental circumstances. Sometimes it can evaporate in as little as 20 minutes. If you were to walk into that room and strike a match, the whole air would ignite. This also applies to people even storing a few litres in a container not suitable. By that I mean a degradable plastic container that the petrol eats through and people don't realise. And all of a sudden, and of course it starts leaking onto the floor, usually because of the gravity and the weight of the fuel inside the container. So a lot of people don't notice, because it actually evaporates as it hits the floor and then rises up as fumes. So people think, oh, I'll just stick that in the shed, or I'll just put that, I don't know, maybe some people, if they live in an apartment, might leave it by the front door or put it in a cupboard. Well, that's going to cause problems, because people bring a lot of the fuel out of the ground, stick it in containers and leave it in stupid places. And I know this for a fact. How do I know this for a fact? You might laugh at this. I left school at 14, full-time education, and I don't hold any academic qualifications because, well, it just didn't happen, and they didn't seem the right path for me, and I'm bloody glad I didn't. So part of a job I had when I was a teenager, I got a qualification for the safe delivery, transportation and storage of petroleum spirit and flammable liquids, believe it or not. And I still hold that qualification to this day. So it's something that I'm aware of the dangers of bringing fuel, especially petroleum spirit, above ground in a unsealed or a non-suitable container in a non-ventilated space, simply because it's so regulated. So as I say, this is the time where you'd want somebody sensible at your petrol station making sure that people aren't filling up anything they can get their hands on, because it's lethal stuff if it's not handled properly once it's above ground. Once it's in your car, generally okay. And the other thing is, we've been predicted to have one of the hottest heat waves for the past few years in Europe. I don't know about the rest of the world. So the combination for me in a rural area, with people potentially storing a lot of cheap fuel in the middle of a heat wave in a very dry area in 45 Celsius heat, it's one for me to think about. Anyway, cheers guys.